So when a prospect says, listen, I don't have time to look at this right now. I'm too busy to look at this right now. This is not something I have time to look at right now. That is a very common objection that you will get on the phone if you make cold calls, if you sell B2B, and if you're trying to pitch people on a meeting, right? Whether it's in person or on Zoom, a lot of people will hit you with that objection of, I don't have time to look at this right now. Whether it's because they don't want to invest any money or they already have a vendor doing the thing that you're trying to sell, or they just don't want it to be a waste of their time. At the end of the day, they're going into conservation mode and they're going into the mode of, I don't want to waste my time or money through taking this meeting. Okay. So there's a handful of ways you can handle this objection, but in working with my sales team, I have noticed that the most successful way to handle an objection like this is comedy. You need to make people laugh. If you cannot get someone to laugh and make the conversation a little bit more lighthearted, you are never, ever in a million friggin' years going to earn their time on a meeting. So how would I handle an objection like this if we were to actually role play it, if we were to actually do something like this live? If someone tells me, yeah, listen, I really don't have time to look at something like this right now, what I would say is, yeah, no problem, me either. All I need from you is your credit card information and your social security number. Once you give me all that, I'll just take your home address and all your banking information. Clearly, it shows that you're messing with them, right? You're just playing it off. It's not a big deal. You're being playful. Now, this can go one of two ways. The prospect's either going to hang up on you right there because they're just like, whatever, screw this guy. I'm not interested. It is what it is. At that point, move on to the next lead. Remember, volume negates everything. But in a large amount of cases, what will happen is the person will actually just start to laugh. They'll be like, oh yeah, is that all you need? And they'll be laughing. What you just did is you got the prospect to get some feel-good brain chemicals to release in their brain. Now the dopamine's flowing, the serotonin's flowing. You actually just built trust by saying something like that because you're going to show, listen, I'm a reasonable guy. You're a reasonable guy. Let me just show you what I got. So first you're going to say, yeah, no, I just need your bank account information, your social security number, your home address. And once I get all that information, I won't need any more of your time, right? Then you'll get them to laugh. But then what you say after is very important. What I want you to say after that is, listen, John, in all seriousness, every single business owner that's successful says that to me. I mean, at the end of the day, you're successful and that's why you're busy. I totally get it. The last thing I would want on my calendar is a ton of business owners who are not successful, that have nothing going on, that have all day for a meeting. I like to work with busy people as I am a busy person, right? So you're addressing, hey, you're successful because you're busy, right? But then you can say, but listen, John, I'm sure it wasn't always like that. And I'm sure that on your come up journey in building your success, you had to go through a lot of obstacles and a lot of hoops. And if no one ever gave you a chance to either look at your restaurant, or if no one ever gave you a chance to showcase your product, whatever niche you're in, you could insert that line. If no one ever gave you a chance with your business, I'm sure you wouldn't be where you're at today. I'm looking for that opportunity, and that's why I called you. Right now, we're working with such and such. Name someone that you're working with. Right now, we're working with such and such, and we've delivered them some incredible results that I want to show you. And I know you're a busy guy, so this will not take more than 20 minutes of either of our time. And if you're not interested from there, I will not waste any more of your time. I'm good with a clear yes or no. Is that fair? Do you have time for me this Thursday at 3 o'clock? Right? That is how you handle the objection. So there's multiple phases to that, and we can break it down. The first thing you need to do is you need to get the prospect to laugh. You need to make the conversation a bit more lighthearted and in good spirit. If it's too serious and if it's too stiff and if it's too up here, the prospect's just going to be like, screw that. I'm good. I'll move on. Right? So first get them to drop their guard. Once they've dropped their guard, you need to be reasonable with them, right? And you need to let them know it's good that you're giving me that objection. For example, it's good that you're telling me that you're busy because I don't want to work with people that aren't busy, that don't have things going on. I like to work with busy, successful business owners, and that's exactly what you are. You're successful because you're busy, and I totally get that. However, early on in your career, I'm sure it wasn't like that, and I'm sure that someone had to give you a chance by looking at your product or service, so you customize that to your niche. And the reason I wanted to give you this call today is because I'm looking for that opportunity today, and I will not waste your time. I need maybe 20 minutes of your time this Thursday at 3 o'clock. Let me show you what we do for such and such. And if you're not interested from there, I'll never bother you again, but I know this is worth 20 minutes of your time. So can I steal that maybe this Thursday at 3? And then you'll get the meeting. So you get them to drop their guard, show that you're a reasonable guy, and then handle the objection. To me, that is the most successful way and the best way to handle a prospect that's going to say something along those lines to you, because you need to think about the buyer psychology or the prospect psychology. I don't want to sit down with some sales company, but they do want to sit down with an individual. They do want to sit down with Luke or with Mike or whoever you are dialing the phone. They care about the relationship that you're building with them more than anything else. And the more they like you, the more likely they are to buy. So if you can get the prospect to laugh, they're going to like you more. If you can draw a scenario in their head that's similar to their scenario, now they're thinking about, yeah, when I was, 25 coming up on my journey, I did have that one guy come in my restaurant. Let's say it's a restaurant owner that you're calling, and that did change my career. When I was 25, I did have that one mentor, and that did change my career. A lot of people, the best buyers and the best people, if you handle them with that objection, will want to pay it forward, and they'll want to take the meeting just out of curiosity. Try that. Let me know how it works, and go work.